Yes, my dear friends, welcome back to the channel GH247 News, wherever you are around the world, especially on the continent of Africa. And hey guys, even if you're in Europe, you're in America, in the UK, please like the video and share the video. And I want to hear from you in the comment section. Let me know what you think about all that we are doing right here on this platform. My name is Salom and I'm coming your way all the way from Southeast Asia, Malaysia to be precise. Ladies and gentlemen, in this very special video, I want to present to you Ghana. Right now as we speak, it looks like there's a new wave that is blowing across Ghana. Since the taking over in affairs of government by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the NDC government, it looks like the world has turned its focus on Ghana. And the question I want to ask you is why? What is it that since His Excellency John Dramani Mahama started his second term in office as the President of the Republic of Ghana, what is he doing right, making the world leaders from Africa to Asia to Europe to the Americas looking up to him? As we speak, sources close to government indicate that this year alone, there are over 16 invitations across the world. 16 different days as we speak, expecting His Excellency to visit for bilateral talks. Some heads of state and presidents, they are willing even to fly to Ghana to meet up with His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. What is it that Ghana is doing right? Remember, Ghana's location is West Africa. Ghana is situated close to countries that are described right now as unstable. The Sahel region is all around Ghana. We're talking about even the biggest nation on the African continent, most populous nation on the African continent, Nigeria, that somehow is unstable, security-wise, unstable, economically unstable, not too far away. It's just about 45-minute flight. So what is it that Ghana is doing right, that the world and everyone around the world want to collaborate, want to have something to do with Ghana? Ladies and gentlemen, later part of last year and early this year, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama traveled across Asia. He was in Japan, he passed through Singapore, he was in Korea recently, and just the past month, His Excellency was in the US to deliver a message at the UN General Assembly for repatriation. Now, Now, the question is, what is the kind of, what is happening? Why is it now that it's all about Ghana, wherever you go? Just last month, the EU signed a security pact with Ghana. Security cooperation pact with Ghana. EU. It has never happened before. They don't have such a pact or agreement with any African country. Why did the EU choose to have that security agreement with Ghana right now and to collaborate with Ghana in terms of security? The entire of EU, European Union. Why? Maybe I'm over-exaggerating things. I want you to watch this video. Few seconds video.
As coastal West African states seek to prevent violence spilling over from the neighbouring Sahel, where attacks have stepped up in recent years by armed groups linked to Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State. The deal builds on a broader €50 million defence package delivered since 2023. Let's take a listen now to the Ghanaian Vice President.
Today's transfer of security equipment, systems, motorcycles and drones to Ghana will significantly strengthen our ongoing efforts to build the capacity and operational readiness of Ghana's security forces. It will also enhance Ghana's ability to respond to emerging threats and support our goal of promoting...
Ladies and gentlemen, Ghana has actually positioned itself strategically right now. Ghana is the nation in demand Ghana now is negotiating with the world from an advantageous point. Whenever you see Ghana talking to any nation, any country right now, any head of state right now, Ghana sits at a position of advantage. The world wants to listen to Ghana. The world wants to collaborate with Ghana because Ghana has placed itself on a pedestal. On the African continent right now as we speak, Ghanaians need to be proud. No nation on the African continent is in the news daily around the world. Ghana has positioned itself to the extent that its foreign policy now is all about 50-50. You give me this, I give you this. Ghana is no longer begging the world for aid. Ghana is now seeking for collaboration. Collaboration. It is one of the reasons why His Excellency declared that Ghana's mineral resources are for Ghanaians, and therefore indigenous Ghanaians are to own our mining, enclaves right now. And if you're a foreigner, you want to mine in Ghana, yes, you'll be given a concession, but majority shareholding will have to belong to Ghanaians. Ladies and gentlemen, EU has just signed this pact with Ghana. Do you know what that means? When the world right now is unstable security-wise, at the time that the US has decided to take on the EU decided to take on the US, and there is what they call it, no agreement. There seems to be misunderstanding between the EU and America. EU now is looking for new partnership with Africa, and they are seeing it a stable nation like Ghana. They are looking at Ghana as a place where they can really look up to in order to take control, in order to have a share of what is happening on the African continent. The emerging new market right now in the world is Africa. And the world now wants to make sure they all have shares. The Chinese want to make sure they have shares in Africa. The Russians want to make sure they have shares in Africa. The Americans want to make sure they have shares in Africa. Now, Ghana, especially in West Africa, has positioned itself in such a way that the world now sees Ghana with a different eye. It is a reason why Ghanaians need to be up and celebrating. It is time for Ghanaians to be up and take advantage of the current wave of reforms, the current wave of stability, the current wave of growth in the economy, the current wave of good and, every good thing you can think of. As a Ghanaian, I'm pleading, rise up and take advantage. You see, His Excellency was in France a few weeks ago, and we all saw the optics. We saw the videos, the pictures coming up. He went to France at a time where some other West African nations, the Sahel nations, Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, at the time that France is having issues with all these nations across West Africa. At the time that all these nations are trying to withdraw from collaborating with France, Ghana strategically decided to embrace France, and our president was in France. We all saw the optics, from the military parade to the meeting of the French Parliament, chairman or president, to President Macron, Emmanuel Macron himself. All the welcomings we saw, all very beautiful. And we understand the government of Ghana signed or went into agreement with France on different levels, on AI, on technology, on infrastructure, on education, on security. Ladies and gentlemen, why would Ghana, coming out from community of nations on the African continent that are struggling to cooperate with France, make such a move diplomatically to go in there, meet the French, have all these collaborations, at the same time We are the one heading the African continent right now. The rest of the African nations are looking up to Ghana. And Ghana chose to make this diplomatic move along with France. The question is why? Ladies and gentlemen, you see, for those of you who don't know Ghana's policy, foreign policy, let me just, in brief, Ghana is an enemy of none, friends of all. Your enemy is not Ghana's enemy. That is why Ghana is not against, or Ghana never votes against the Palestinians. Ghana doesn't vote against Israel. Ghana doesn't vote against Iran. Ghana is a friend of all. So whenever there are issues coming up, Ghana looks at the issues strategically, advantage. Where would it benefit our people? Ghana-France relationship did not start from today. No. Ladies and gentlemen. So Ghana has every right to go to France at the invitation of the French to collaborate with French on any level of issues, so long as it will benefit its people. But hey, let me point out one thing. Last year, maybe you might have forgotten, Ghana has a good relationship with Israel. But you could remember vividly when the Israeli authorities deported some Ghanaians, right? Yes, what did Ghana do? Ghana retaliated. That is the level of foreign policy Ghana has gotten to right now. You cannot take advantage over Ghana. The French cannot take advantage over Ghana. The Americans cannot take advantage over Ghana. The Europeans cannot take advantage over Ghana. Not now, never again. If before, yes, but right now, ladies and gentlemen, and this is where I want to address my fellow Africans and Nigerians, especially. For those of you that kept claiming Ghana of yesterday, I overheard recently somebody saying if Nigerians withdrew their businesses in Ghana, 90% of Nigerian businesses, Ghanaian economy is being held by Nigerian businessmen. It is a lie from the pit of hell. When Ghanaians are saying Nigeria must go, they should have gone. Why were they? Why didn't they want to go? Withdraw your businesses and let's see whether Ghana's economy will collapse. Why those businesses are not flourishing in Nigeria? Why do you think those businesses relocate to Ghana? Because of three main things, ladies and gentlemen. And I want Nigerians to get this clear. Stability of the economy, number one. Security of the nation, number two. Number three, energy. So don't ever imagine or dream it that it is your people that came to develop Ghana. It is untrue. They should have developed your nation first, Nigeria. You cannot give what you don't have, my friends. And hey, guys, this is not about Nigeria. This is about Ghana's position right now on the international stage. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I have said enough. I'll be back with more exclusives. See you when you see me. Once again, my name is Selom. Shalom and peace.